Yes, everybody. Russell, the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well. I'm trying to clip my thing. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. You know what to do. But it is the world famous match day morning / match day late lunch, late lunch. Been a busy day. Been a busy day on the network. Lots of stuff already ahead of the game against Chelsea here at the London Stadium, 8 p.m. kickoff. Anyone new to the channel, what we'd like to do is we always do a match day, like a morning show / afternoon show. But when we do the home games, we do it here. We do it at the London Stadium. So, if you are fortunate enough or unfortunate, it depends how you look at it, then we are here to give you a feeling of everything that's going around. Although there's fuck all people here, to be honest, at the moment. But I'm here, you're here, and that's all that matters. What have we done today? We've done the opposition chat. We had Al from Chelsea Fan TV. Good chat with Al, actually. Nice guy, top guy. And hopefully we see a bit more of him coming on, particularly when we're playing them at Stamford Bridge later on the season. We had Stat Attack as well. They don't look too great in terms of the stats for the game, as you could imagine. We also did a Hammers headline nice and early, talking about some players we linked to. Some more players after yesterday. We were linked to 12, a dozen players we were linked to, a dozen midfielders, and obviously one of them being referee on Adika, who seems to be having a bit more time, a bit more column inches about him now, which is good, because I think he could really make a difference, and does seem to want to come to the Premier League and come to West Ham. So that's to me, that's a good start. And we spoke about Raheem Sterling. I could easily see it happening at the end of the transfer window, to be honest, but we'll wait and see. Let's see, we've got in the chat. We've got Usual Suspect. Hope you are well, Usual Suspect. Nice to see you. On the iPad today, so I don't have to piss about with that today. Cyril's here as well. Nice to see you. As well, until the sheep teas come out in terms of fearing the worst, hoping for the best. It's, for me, it's one of those games today that I am, I'm not very confident at all. I'll be honest. I think you might have got that from my video with Alex, in terms of the Chelsea fan on this morning. Not very confident at all. But you know what? In all honesty, it's these games that drag you back in. I'm there thinking, do you know what? We're not going to have much of a chance today. I don't fancy us. Chelsea, although they drew, they've got a good side. They spent well. We haven't fought enough yet. We're very light. Midfield very slow, and that's really sort of central to the drive in terms of what we're trying to achieve. And we haven't got that midfield. And it's games like this where they turn up. It would be an extremely West Ham thing to do to get results tonight. Chips are down. Not necessarily nothing to play for, not necessarily a free hit as such, but I don't think there's a lot of expectation from the fan base to get a result today. And I think a lot of people are assuming we will lose today, and maybe lose quite heavily today. But it's the hope that kills you, my friends, isn't it? And we're all West Ham fans, and we've all done it for the last, how long have you been a West Ham fan for? I mean, as I was saying throughout today, always the case that, I sit there thinking every year we've got a decent cup run, and until recently we haven't won fuck all, but I still think we're going to win the cup every year. Let's go over a few comments. Got a lot of people here. Nice to see you all. If you're new around here, this is what we do every match day here. So enjoy. Alfie, good morning to you. Afternoon to you. What's for lunch? Mrs. Budden actually gave me a lovely little roll before I left. So I've had sustenance. Reckon it'll be the same as you've got to make 3 changes. Suchek and Wilson for Paqueta and Fulkrug. Interesting to it. Do you know what? I don't think I think we'll wait and see. I've got the starting 11 show coming out a little bit later on. I've got to go home to record that and come back. People probably ask me that. I think there'll be one change today. I think there'll be one change. And I think it will be. Actually, do you know what? In a weird way, I think I could see that happening. The 𝗪𝗪𝗧 one. I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening potentially. Lovers, good afternoon to you. Raven, soon it'll be easier for this. The players we haven't been. Very true. We've been linked with over 215, I think, players so far this year, surpassing last year's record by about 50. So yeah. Usual GP, is that a dog in the background? For a while ago, quite possibly. People do walk their dogs around here. I predicted a loss against London, but on the day went for a draw. Today went for a draw. We can nick it. London derby. Fear is we'll get absolute stuff. There is that fear, but you're right in that respect of a London derby. Anything can happen. Still very early on in the season. I mean, they played Sunday to Friday, so they've had 1 day less. All right, yeah, they played Sunday, wasn't it? They've had 1 day less. We had 1 day more. There's not much difference, to be honest. We travelled back down. They were at home, so it probably evens itself out. I just think, you know, as Alex said today, the Chelsea fan, you know, he's not really concerned much about sort of them tiring, but then getting up to match speed, having had just a couple of weeks off. You know, they've probably really done all their holidays in the space of 2 weeks rather than necessarily a longer time. So this is their pre-season as well. So yeah, we'll see. A roll indeed. I did buy them those rolls, and I did buy the chicken to put in said rolls as the tasty chicken. Very nice. 3 for £6. But she actually buttered them and put the chicken in. Unbelievable seems. Potter has to start Souček today. Not starting him was ridiculous. I get that. I think that could happen. Could it happen at the expense of Rodriguez? Could that happen at the expense of JWP? I mean, you've got to think in terms of JWP perspective. You know, what does he really? You know, we're going to be up against a midfield of Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo. You know, you'd assume 2 very strong, quite energetic, you know, combative midfielders, and we haven't got that in JWP. He's not that type of player, and I suppose we'll find out in a few hours' time. But for me, I would love to see Freddie play today. I know it's a bit of a big ask for the lad as well, but you know, a London derby, you want to get the fans on your side. Having a boy from the academy, having a Potts on the side, the Potts name legendary amongst West Ham fans. I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't say for that, but I think Freddie's got that energy, and you know. But whether he throws him into this, I don't know. Because he didn't throw him in against an aging Granit Xhaka, for example, which would make a lot of sense. But don't know. What we say? Then he says bid for Magassa. He's in, good player. It'll be 25 million over 10 seasons. Second bid will be the same, but 2 million when Magassa builds a spaceship single-handedly, flies to Mars. They play football there. Fair enough. I think Gonzo really nailed it on the head when he said that, you know, our transfer buying policy is very similar to buying on eBay. You know, you got literally the bare minimum to get to the next bid, and that's what it does seem. What have we got here? Do you ever get bored waiting around for match start? No, I don't. I get to catch up with people. You know, how can you get bored, GP, when you're there chatting to Jimmy Walker and Brian Deere and the stories they keep telling you, and some stories are the same, but maybe they're not. And you know, you sort of learn. You know, every game I'm learning a little bit more about what it was like to play with Bobby Moore. Stag tells me a little bit more, shows me a little picture, and that's never get bored of that. And you know, we'll catch up, and I'll talk to Jimmy, and we'll have a chat about Thomas Repka night and all that type of stuff. And you know, I haven't seen the likes of Matty Jarvis yet this season yet. Or Rufus Brever, or you know, Mad Dog, or Monks. I just don't get bored. Don't get bored of it. I love it. I absolutely love it, and never take it for granted as well. In fact, saying that, we've got probably over the weekend we'll put up an interview I did with Tony from Tony's Pie and Mash, who supply the pie and mash to London Stadium. But big West Ham fan, and we had a really good chat about that. Not the best audio, I'll be honest, because he was doing it on his phone and gets it cut out. But you get a view of what it's like to, you know, work for the club you support. And he obviously is in there now, sorting out all the pie and mash for tonight. And he puts together a very interesting 11, which I'll probably put out on my Instagram today, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up about that. I like my stupid. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. We've got here, Hope doesn't start. Need Potts there. I agree. Would you double pivot then? Would you play Potts and Rodriguez today rather than Potts and JWP? I think I actually would, thinking about it now. It goes against what I was saying. But we know JWP is one of his boys. It's one of his generals, well, not his general, but one of his players. But in terms of what he delivers, what else does he deliver? Set pieces. Well, Diouf can whip the ball in with his left foot, and Bowen can whip the ball in with his right foot. So you've got to think, why is he in the team? Why is he in the team now? I don't get it. You know, we've got players who offer more in the physical side, the defensive side. We've got sufficient cover when it comes to, you know, sort of the deliveries, the free kick deliveries, the corner deliveries. I don't know why. Don't know why he's there now, personally. Ludder says, I think we'll struggle to score goals again this season. Possibly, yeah. I mean, it's an area which I always fancy us for a goal, but maybe not the plural. Unless Bowen's got a bit between his teeth. Now, obviously, yesterday, you know, reports coming out of Italy suggesting a swap deal with 𝗪𝗘𝗦𝗧 from Roma with Nicholas Fulkrug. I think that was just paper talk, but interesting move. You know, we've been linked with Arte. You know, I think if we get the right midfielder in, you know, someone like Uche from La Liga, you know, he scored and set one up yesterday, last weekend. 6'3" powerhouse. Would be interesting. You know, I mean, Rafael Onidika as well. You know, good player, solid player, energy, drive, and that's what you want. Do you know what? I've always said it. I think, you know, for me, a Conor Gallagher is who I would really want on this side. I really do. I just think he would really give or a Conor Gallagher-esque type player when he was in his pomp, so to speak, in terms of, you know, maybe the Crystal Palace days. Chelsea never really got a proper run out, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens after this Chelsea game. So obviously we've been linked with the likes of Kaan Chukwuemeka, and also Andre Santos. And I would assume maybe after the Chelsea game, after tonight, those conversations get reopened up again because we're not playing them. It's the same thing with Newcastle and Liverpool. I think Isaac will probably leave next week after they played each other in the league. Oh God, loads of comments. We go through some. Friday, shout out mine of them. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you. We'll be having we will have. If you want a bit of fun, go watch Thomas Repcon we put up this weekend, and then we've got we'll have Tony's Pie and Mash. That'll probably be up maybe Sunday potentially. 8 o'clock kickoff. Bloody working this evening, so we catch the second half, or if you really want to. Has Emerson gone, or will it be available tonight? Alvarez apparently is out, or is there getting everything sorted for the Fenerbahce. I don't think Irvin will play. And with Emerson, I don't think he'll play. I think Marseille are the ones who are most likely to get Emerson now. But we shall see what goes down. Leave up Rodriguez, replace with Potts and Orford. I can't see that happening, mate. I don't think Lewis is ready, to be honest, at all. Potts, yes. I think Potts for JWP, I think actually would be a better shout than Potts for Rodriguez. So I actually don't think, I don't think they played too bad. I think it was JWP who played worse. And I think, with Potts alongside it, sort of double pivot, but let Potts go forward a little bit more with the ball, link up with, because he can pick a pass out from Freddie. I don't think that'd be a bad way. But will he do that? I just don't think he will. That's the trouble. As much as we want it, I could do a pie mash right now. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I said exclusive. I've only had pie mash about 6 times in my life, if that, maybe 5 times. But I'm quite into it now. I had Tony's on Friday at Thomas Repcon night, and it was exquisite. It was really good. So much so that I maybe would take a Mrs. Budden for a Tony's pie mash at the weekend. That's the first time I've probably gone to a pie mash shop. Tell a lie, went to Nathan's once. Apart from pre-season, when was the last time we had a penalty for us? Good shout. Then it's said to be a match changing Souček for JWP. Probably won't be thrown in against Chelsea. Was not too bad. Could be exposed tonight, possibly. But then if he sits in front and doesn't move, basically what we wanted Edson Alvarez to do. In all honesty, I think then you don't necessarily get the get an issue. It's when you want Vieto to when he's been made to move forward, and then that's the issue in my eyes. Rob says a 4-1. I think we play three at the back. I'll be honest. What is it? We go 4-3-3. Not going to happen, though, is it, Shiraz, to be honest? We've got Pens away. There we go. There we go. Helen, point made. Afternoon, Jay. Potts has to start, but probably won't. Souček, Rodney over the hill. Potter for London Mayor, says Jay. There we go. Good luck to you. I think... do you know what? I think you're probably right. I think Souček over JWP. I think that's what most people will probably do, and most people would. I think likely change. I think for me, I'd probably put Potts instead of JWP. But then Souček gives you that, and we were saying, I was saying to Tony, you know, Souček gives you that guarantee of someone going to put a shift in. You know, when we had Sunderland, we had a situation where we didn't necessarily have assumed we were going to be playing. You know, he didn't seem to put any shift in, didn't seem to put any effort in. But at least you know he's Souček playing. There's one person you can guarantee will put a shift in. Do what Lover says and caress the like button. If you saw my appearance on Sky Sports, giving Charlie Austin a left-hander, a verbal one. Let us know. Hope you watched it. If not, yes, there is. Yes, there is. It's getting smaller and smaller. It was a bigger shop, and it's like now it's half a shop. Yes, there is. I've never been to that one, but I've only been to one pie mash of my life, and that was Nathan's. I haven't even been to Robin's in Romford. But as I said, Mrs. Budden may get a treat this weekend. Sorry. I meant Hornchurch, not Hornchurch, Hornchurch. So what are you thinking, guys? What are you thinking in terms of scoreline? In the chat, let's have a scoreline prediction and see where everyone's thinking. As I said, for me, I think if we do, I think head and heart. So head thinks 3-0 loss. Heart, nick one. We'll nick one. Because it's these types of games. I always say it. We've been I've been a West Ham fan for 40 odd years or whatever. It's these types of games where the chips are down. We've got no hope, and we'll end up fucking turning up. I remember last year, they were when we went away to Arsenal in the Emirates, the Emirates, and people thought we were getting trashed, and we end up being the first team this season to beat Arsenal in the Emirates. Newcastle away, we played like bloody prime Brazil. Anything can happen with us. Anything can happen. That's why I love it. What we got here? 5-0. We got. Oh, what's that say underneath? Someone's. Hang on. Let me go back to it. Someone said Charlie was good still. Yeah, to some extent, but I think he just understood. I don't think he understood what I was saying about. He quickly jumped on the fact of playing squad players, and then I educated the fact that we lost 6 first team players over the summer, and so they need to be replaced, and they're not going to be replaced in the first team. They're all squad players. Fabianski, Soufal, Cresswell, Ings, Zuma, Antonio, and bringing in someone like KWP, I think is a good squad player. I think Wilson can prove to be a good squad player eventually, and it was, I think, a bit of a knob sometimes. 5-0, 4-0. This show's been full of innuendos, and if you don't like the one, I'll give you one, Raven, if you don't want. 3-1 loss. To quote it, Rocky 3, my prediction, pain. 4-1. Oh, is it some really nice... I'd imagine that's for Chelsea. 3-1 loss. Heart 1-0, West Ham. Arsenal 1-0 Voodoo. What? We're not playing Arsenal, though. 2-0 loss. Hart says 4-2. Head says 6-0 loss. If Mads starts, Mads, it's real. Mads is going to come good. He is no Roberto, my friend. He is a good. And actually, if you think about it, if we end up getting Rafael Onyedika, for example, as suggesting, Potter's got his first choice goalkeeper. He's got his first choice left back, or left wing back. He'll have his first choice midfielder as well. Now, then he can be judged, because those are the players he wants to bring in. And I still think there'll be one or two coming in, maybe loan deals. We'll wait and see. We got 2-2, 4-0 Head, 3-1 says Adams, so have Iris. Where was it? Where was it? So have Iris, we are crap. Charles bang on. Yeah, but I think that's an obvious. I think, to be honest, Joe, that's quite a lazy. We all know it, and it's something we've been talking about for the last 2 years. It's quite a lazy thing to say that. It's like there's no pace. Of course, there's no fucking pace. It's blatantly obvious. Got no pace. It's like that's why I like the fact that we get the opportunity. Me, it was Jamie Talks was on yesterday. Dan's been on there. The opportunity to come on and talk to them from a fan's perspective, because otherwise it's too lazy and the narrative's all the same. And actually, as I said, Charlie was talking about the whole. Still banging on about David Moyes. On Jamie's one yesterday, whoever the pundit is, no idea who he is. He was talking about fucking Moyes as well. And it's like, move on. That's a season and a half ago that's happened. Do you know what I mean? Move on. Russ, I'll get you. Yeah. Gotcha. I think. Well, at the end of the day, unless he gets the players in, he can't really address it. Because, to be honest, we've got pace out wing. We've got pace in Diaz. We've got pace with what's name, with Wan-Bissaka. We've got pace with Bowen. Tolebo's not slow. The back three is not slow at all. Maybe Kilman to some extent. But that midfield is very slow. And I don't know why he hasn't addressed it. I think we've been trying to get the play. I think, personally, we've had to move people out for bringing people in. With Alvarez going, it's opened up spaces to be brought in. But I agree, and we need genuine pace. We haven't got pace with the forward line, but I don't think the way, as I said, look under Potter's time during Brighton, who was the spearhead? It was Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray was a 36, 37-year-old, journeyman centre forward, but he fitted. It's very similar to the way Fulcru, that sort of like can hold the ball up well, bring players in. But we desperately miss pace on that left-hand side. Bowen's quick. I wouldn't say he's the most quickest person. What I'd love to see, in all honesty, is anyone watches the Academy show. I've got certain players that I'm bigging up, and if you don't watch it, you should be, because we claim to have the Academy, in our best heart. But watch that, because you can find out more about the Academy. And Miki Adieli, he is. I've got a text to Kenny Brown, because I'm pretty sure he told me on Monday. They did a time test, and he is the fastest player in the club. He's rapid, and if we can find a way to sometimes even bring him in onto the bench, particularly if Emerson goes, for example. He's a left wing back. Then there is pace there, but I don't know why not. We've got here. Wish to much better with our new midfielders. Very good. Usually would start Ariola. Ian would say, play the youth. At least they're hungry. Now, I'm not. No, you know what? I'm not. I think most people. I think, again, with that, it's too easy to say play. They'll be hungry. They could also shit themselves as well. I'm not criticising of our team for a lack of hunger. They're professional football players. A lot of them have got bonuses for win bonuses and goal bonuses. So they will be hungry from a financial perspective as well as a professional perspective. I just think it needs a little bit. It's that midfield is the issue, and it's blatantly clear. And we've had the best part of 10 weeks to sort it out, and we haven't. And if we do sort it out, it's going to be literally next week, the last full week before the transfer window closes. Ridiculous. We need a silver bullet. There's no silver bullets. listen to the Graham Potter press conference. Some will be back, but when he's been penciled in for the game against Spurs. However, we'll wait and see what happens with that. Potter has a degree in werewolf hunting and he's trying to steal a bullet. Thought Potter was very defensive. I think I totally get that where he's coming from as well. I think there's a frustration there for him, but he is the public face of the questioning, isn't he? So the things that are the decisions that are made at West Ham, he has to, whether they be made with him or behind him, we don't know. He's the one who has to, toe the line, so to speak. So, yeah, I think he got spiked. I mean, to be honest, Moose runs up a lot of people got the wrong way, doesn't he, sometimes with his questioning. But I thought he was right to pull him up on the question about the silver bullet. What is the silver bullet? And talking about the basics, the stats are there for a stat guy. Possibly looking at the stats, we ran the second least in the Premier League that week, I think. Now some of that is we had the ball, so we weren't really chasing the ball much, but still there wasn't a lot of that action, and that's what Moose was referring to in terms of the basics. 𝗪𝗪𝗦𝗧 in the middle, he played there in his youth. Not going to happen, that. I am the only one who speaks today. We're the only channel to do a regular weekly show. People might drop in and drop out when things are interesting, but we are the only dudes to have a show. I'd play some youth. Marshall would be nice to see. I mean, he's been ill. He had what's it called? He was ill. He's taking antibiotics. But then, the thing that surprised me, and again, I'm going to probably have a little bit of a rant about this on Monday, because obviously the under-21s played on Monday, and Antonio was playing. A player who's no longer contracted by West Ham was playing for the under-21. And I thought that was a poor thing to do. Why couldn't the club put Antonio on the bench? If they were going to play him, put him on the bench. Start with Callum Marshall in the PL2. The chances were, to be honest, the game was crying out for someone to have a decent. Antonio played very poorly against a bunch of kids, I thought. And it was quite sad watching it, I think. But for me, I think, why couldn't Callum Marshall play that game? He might have got a couple of goals and then been on the bench tonight, and you'd have seen Callum Marshall full of confidence. Why did that happen? I don't know. And I spoke to a few people, and they didn't know why it happened either. So I have no idea what happened there. Have we bought more players and stuff? No, nothing because the youth team players we bought. But it's very close. A loss tonight is going to crush him. Basics, that's what we're getting wrong on the training ground. We will resign Antonio. I think I wouldn't. I thought it was crap on Monday. Absolute crap. Playing against a guy half his age. I thought it was shocking. But, if he's going for it, the fact is none of these deals that his agent said he's got have come to any fruition as well. And so, I think it's shocking, absolutely shocking decision. I just thought it wasn't a good idea at all, and I thought he didn't repay that faith. And his time has gone, and what he should have done, he should have had people here who could actually make a difference, who could actually, what would we have gained if Antonio had scored 2 goals, a hat-trick on Monday? Nothing. Yes, potentially he might be signed for that, but he hasn't been signed for beforehand. Finally pulling the trigger and paid for Sky Sports this year. Better pay well tonight, or I'll be crying in 4K. Well, obviously on Sky Sports, you could have watched me on your big telly on Monday. You're talking to Charlie Austin on the Fan Club, the 11 o'clock show. I'm really that really pissed me off about the Antonio thing. Really did. I just thought it was a really poor decision. And actually, where you've got an opportunity to use the under-21 games for the benefit of the first team, we could have done that. We could have, played Callum for, he hasn't had many minutes. He had a few pre-season. He had an illness. Yeah, very strange. Wasn't very happy with that at all, to be honest. What have we got here? Keep the faith, people. 70 around the corner. Let's hope, mate. Let's hope. Why are people taking big pictures? Oh, they're not. It's because we've got the band behind. That's why. This is why. And after the game, I tend to be walking around here as well. So if you are going to the game, like here in 20 minutes or so after the game, I can come over and say hello to you. Michael, 30 months. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Everyone who's done with this ownership, it's time for unity in the fan base. Tickle the like button. Yeah, do what Jay says. They're taking pictures of Bush off. 4 weeks, boys. Very good. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens tonight. As I said, there won't be a watch along tonight. Anton's on his holidays. So, but I'll be doing a review show after the game. So go back and watch the lovely guy. You know, obviously you've got the likes of, you know, you've got Amma's Chat, and you've got West Ham Fan TV, and you've got maybe Claret Blues, maybe, I don't think JP will do it at the home game. You go and watch them, and also give them some love and likes. You know, whether you're watching anything like West Ham Voice, whether you're watching Babbling Irons, whether you're watching West Ham World, and it's fucking loads of West Ham Unofficial, you know, all that stuff. If you're watching it, please like their stuff, comment, all that good stuff, because it really does help. Not only from a channel engagement, the more you like, the more you comment about things, the more YouTube push them forward, so those channels can grow. But also just for the guys themselves, you know, it's a good boost if they're seeing interaction with what they're doing. It's not just going into the vacuum of the Ethernet that most things do. Yeah, and that West Ham, yeah, exactly, that West Ham channel as well. I'm hiding behind the sofa, indeed. And yeah, like I said, we'll have the starting 11 show a little bit later on. And then, as I said, I'll be doing a live behind after the game, walking around. If you see me, grab me, come say hello, come out of the chat, and all that good stuff. Until next time, my friends, take care, stay safe, stay warm. Don't forget to give it a like as well, always helps the channel. And I will see you soon on the other side. Much love, motherfuckers. See you later, potatoes.